Lorraine Massillon. I am a teacher at the Drexel Avenue School in Westbury. I'm a 5th grade teacher in an ICT class, and I love my job. I love my students. I love the people that I work with. I realized I played an important role immediately at the beginning of the pandemic. School provides stability. School is a safe place for students. And as a teacher, we needed to provide that stability even while the children were learning from home. I think when all of this happened, everybody just had to turn on a dime. It was just so fast. And every district handled it differently. Everybody's idea of what this line of teaching would look like was different. We, with support and creativity and just being forgiving with myself, you just kind of took one day at a time. My home just became a classroom as well. So I had to change gears that way. I had to have a setup that would be conducive to learning. I had to learn how to really connect with my students online and make my presence big for them, and to direct them from this media. It's a different way of communicating. This was a totally new way of teaching just by screen. You miss a lot of the simple nuances that we have in the classroom of being in physical contact with your students. So now the way that we structure our lessons, the way that we communicated with our students, the way that we evaluated our students, that all is new. We had to find a way to have a presence with our students and connect with them socially and emotionally to make that their learning experience meaningful. So 5th grade, the students go into middle school. So in March, we had our students, and we knew them at least from September up until March. So we knew who they were as students. We knew who they were in person. Mm-hmm. So when everything flipped, they changed as well. Because this camera, like you and I, will turn the camera on. A lot of the children don't turn the cameras on. They're self-conscious about something. When Google came up with the backgrounds, so then they could just kind of be in the clouds or whatever. When it asked, like, how did I feel? I was like, I don't know how I really felt, because at some point I didn't have a chance to really think about what I felt. I just knew I had a job that I had to do, and it just had to continue. I just knew at 8:50, I needed to be there, and the children needed to come in. And they came every day. If they had the technology, some came by phone, some came by iPad, whatever technology they had at that moment, that's how they got in. As teachers, we ask questions. I know for us, we put up a daily kind of check-in sheet. And it's something very simple, and it's just if you're happy, if you're okay, or if you're feeling sad. And if they're feeling sad, we'll ask in private why they're feeling sad. And some students are willing to communicate, other students aren't willing to communicate. But luckily that we have connections with social workers and guidance counselors. So we would also give students that avenue if they care to. For those students who were able to communicate with us, we used to do like daily meditations with the students, just a time to relax and breathe, or we did exercises with the students, just something to get their body systems functioning, their lymphatic systems going, or their breathing, just to calm their nervous system with them, and someone that's always there for them and somebody that they could rely on. Hopefully that was something that was soothing for them throughout this. It's okay to be sad. There's and all these things are constructs anyway, but nobody's really in a real state of happiness. No one's always in a real state of sadness. We're just level. We're just here. We are just in this state. We're just in that presence, in that moment, whatever that might be. School is somewhere that they can come during a time when everything was just turned upside down. So knowing that they could come to school and see their teachers and participate in some type of activity outside of their normal everyday lives of just walking around their homes, that was pretty motivating for us, that we knew that we provided a service for not just the students, but for their parents, for the community as a whole. A lot of us were struggling as teachers. We really were struggling. But my colleagues and I, we all came together. We had daily texting chats, and we shared techniques, we shared lessons, we shared websites, we shared materials, and people were sharing without even asking. So that was a real help, because you knew that you weren't alone at a time when people were feeling pretty isolated. And even with the students, they were using technology differently. Normally, technology for children, they use it for gaming purposes. But now, the technology became the main source of their learning, their main source of communicating what they learned. So I was really proud in that moment, because our students, they all pivot, and the teachers, we all pivot, and with patience with one another, with technology glitches and internet issues, everybody came together and we made a new school. We turned our classrooms around. We are living in an unimaginable time. We are literally living history. 100 years from now, someone's going to read somewhere about how we survived or lived through this pandemic. So just living in this unimaginable time, I hope that we all come out of this situation wiser, stronger because of it, and just better people, better human beings.
I'm grateful for our paramedics for putting in overtime and making sure that everyone is healthy and safe.
Thank you for fighting endless fights.
Thank you for getting up every day for us, making sure that our lives are safer, and doing that for us every single day.
First responders, thank you for putting your lives on the line and keeping us safe every day.
I just wanted to thank all the frontline workers who have been putting their lives at risk for the past year.
I want to say thank you to all frontline workers.
Thank you, frontline workers and first responders, for all that you've done and continue to do. We're grateful for the sacrifices you've made for your family, for your own health, for the safety of all of us and our community.
We at the town of North Hempstead want to extend our deepest and most heartfelt appreciation to all of the essential and frontline workers who have given of themselves so selflessly during the COVID-19 pandemic. These heroes put their lives on the line to keep our community safe, and we cannot thank them enough. We're living in challenging times, but the extraordinary efforts of our essential workers have helped to provide a continued sense of normalcy and stability in our daily lives. These individuals are North Hempstead strong.